Now, one of the highlights of the evening, one anticipated, one to relish. Haile Gebrselassie, world record holder, over 10,000 metres yet again. The third time he's had to take the world 10,000 metres record back from Turgat 12 days ago. He took the world record in Hengelo. His time 26:22. He took over 5 seconds off the Kenyan's world record. This is a 12.5 lap race. The 25-year-old here has a best of 12:41. But of course, last year in Brussels, Daniel Komen ran 12:39, lopping over 2 seconds off Gebrselassie world record from Zurich. He's got plenty of help in this one. Walde will be one of the pacemakers here. Saul Mezagebu, his compatriot, and a late entry to the ranks of the pacemakers here. There's one Branko Zorko of Croatia, 3:34 man at 1,500 metres, who was saying to me this afternoon he hopes to be able to lead for up to 5 laps. That's what he's down to do. When we got here to the stadium, we handed a sheet with all the pacemaking information on it. Zorko hopes to stay at the front for 5 laps, but of course the pace is mighty fast, approaching 60 seconds per lap now. It's quite astonishing. They're hoping to cover each kilometre in 2:32. Zorko will need to run from the front, cover the first 2 kilometres in 5:04.
I think it's indicative of what distance running is these days. When you look back and you're talking about your career, Tim, and you were saying your PB was 13:11, and here's Gebrselassie for 10,000. He's doing it twice over.
Thanks, Andy. I really needed reminding of that. This is a different era altogether. In 1995, when he first set his world record for 5,000 metres, he took 11 seconds off the previous record with 12:44. He set 2 world records indoors in 1996 at 3,000 and 5,000. His hero, incidentally, Gebrselassie, is Mirot Yifta, the little Ethiopian with a devastating sprint over the last 400 metres, who took double gold at the Moscow Olympics in 1980. And one of the disappointments for Gebrselassie over the last 3 or 4 years was that he wasn't able to attempt to emulate that double in Atlanta when he finished up after the 10,000, having won with very sore feet. Couldn't even start the 5,000 metres qualifying heats. Always smiling, delightful little man. Mezagebu will be wearing 2. Wearing 6 there beside him is Mustafa Essaid of France, for Moroccan, with a best of 13:16. That was a personal best set at Saint-Denis just a couple of weeks ago. But not too many in this field will be able to live with Gebrselassie for more than 3 or 4 laps if they want to finish the race in good order. Mezagebu there wearing 2 with a moustache will be pacemaking hopefully through to 4 kilometres. Well, work it out for yourself. 2:32 the target for the first kilometre, 5:04 for 2 kilometres, 7:36 for 3 kilometres is the target for Gebrselassie. Isn't that a staggering statistic? Daniel Komen's time during his world record at 3,000 was a 7:37 on the way to the current world record. Conditions very good indeed. All the atmosphere you could possibly want. Zorko at the front, and right beside our commentary position is a member of what surely must be a member of the Gebrselassie fan club, an Ethiopian, waving a huge Ethiopian flag, red, yellow and blue of his country's colours. Gebrselassie is tucked in there in 4th place, easily the smallest of those 4 in shot. Zorko grimacing already now. Does that indicate there's a bit of headwind on the back straight? If it does, it's bad news. Certainly this wind, looking at the flags around us, appear to be coming from behind the main stand, so from behind the camera that's taking this shot as you're looking at the screen.
Well, Gebrselassie tucked in there in 4th, and certainly Zorko, his face is showing that he's putting in a considerable effort there, Branko Zorko. But it's that stream of men with yellow t-shirts, blue shorts. The Ethiopians' party is about to commence, and yeah, their fans, we can see their green, yellow and red flags all around this stadium, and Gebrselassie, perfectly poised, is starting his world record bid.
Well, 60 seconds at 400 metres, 1:30.8 at 600. If anything, Zorko going a little too fast over the first lap and a half. He'll have been told that by Caroline Faith, who works with Jos Hermans, the manager of Gebrselassie. She's standing down by the finish line and will be yelling at Gebrselassie his splits each and every lap. Zorko still grimacing. I guess we'd better just take that with a pinch of salt. It is Walde in second place, Mezigebu in third, Gebrselassie in fourth. Luke Kipkosgei also in this one. We shouldn't forget him. He's wearing 5, one of the Kenyans in this. There he is in 5th place at the moment. He won in Eugene just a couple of weeks ago. Ran 13:07 there in that North American Grand Prix, the 23-year-old. So supposing Gebrselassie has a bad night, it's hard to imagine. It would have to be an appalling night. Kipkosgei could be a factor. He'll certainly, I think, hang on to Gebrselassie as long as he can. But at the moment, Gebrselassie is just tucked in and enjoying the ride of the 3 pacemakers in front of him.
Well, his face looked relaxed enough, and they've just gone through 1K. Couldn't quite get the split, which is not given on our screens, but they were aiming for a 2:32. And it's interesting that in that 10,000 meters in Hengelo, the world record, for once Gebrselassie, his face showed that he was really having to work hard. But Zorko still doing his job. William Walde starts to try and move up to him, but Gebrselassie still in 4th place, letting the others do the work.
Well, the bad news is that first kilometre on the slow side, around 2:34. Zorko really does need to step it up. They'd be slowing between 600 and 1,000, and that could be crucial. Gebrselassie's world record, when it was the world record of 12:41, was 2:34 at 1K, but Komen ran 2:32 for his first kilometre. You can see Gebrselassie just moving wide of Mezigebu there as they went through up to 3.5 laps, just under 9 laps to run. Zorko doing a pretty good job. I'm surprised at how many men have stayed in touch at the moment. There's 8 men in that lead group, although we know that 3 of them are pacemakers. Wearing 11, that is Milan Walde, the youngster, only 19 years old, ran 13:13 in Kerkrade in Holland a couple of weeks ago. Well, Zorko drops out, his job done after 4 laps. He looked like he was working for it too.
Good indeed. Now it's Miljan Walde taking up the cudgels for Ethiopia. 3 Ethiopians at the front, single file, but all eyes on Gebrselassie. And, well, the one man who's just detached from that group of 8 is Mustafa Essaid of France. Africa all the way.
Well, that trio of Ethiopians pulling away now from Luke Kipkosgei. The gap, some 3 or 4 metres, growing with every stride now, as maybe Kipkosgei senses that this pace that has been stepped up over the last 400 metres, no doubt about that. Walde probably got a little shout from Gebrselassie.